Hello and welcome guys. Today I'll be showing you how to cut your own hair at home and not end up having a mullet like Joe over here. First and foremost, I hope everyone out there is staying safe during this pandemic. You guys are probably in a scenario like me where you have no access to your barber at the moment, or maybe just be wanting to try out a new hobby. Without further ado, we are going to get started on the quarantine fade, as I like to call this project. What you will need is a clipper, a guard set, a comb, and a trimmer. Links to these will be in the description box below. I have personally listed links for a budget set and a high quality set to keep in mind those who are looking to spend the least amount of money. We start off with the trimmer to create a bald line all throughout the head. Make sure you go through your head multiple times in order to ensure there's no dark spots of hair left and the foundation of your fade is kept clean. This is what the end result for the first step should look like. I know it kind of looks weird right now guys, but you gotta trust the process. Next up, we are going to open the lever, just like so, by pushing down on the level by the blade, away from the tip of your clipper's blade. We're just going to be using the clipper for this, so feel free to put your trimmer to the side for now. Just to emphasize, that is correct, and this is not. We want to open that guard. We will then proceed to make a 1-inch guideline with the clipper all throughout the The back will probably be the trickiest part, so if needed, seek out a family member or roommate for help. It's practically relying on muscle memory once you've done it a couple of times. Going to close the same clipper with no guard and blend the line that we created on the bottom. This technique involves erasing the line by going through it slightly with the clipper closed. If you are having a hard time blending the line, try going through it a couple of times, but be careful, don't take it too high. Oftentimes, people kind of go a bit too high and it just ruins the fade. Alright, now we're going to create another guideline using your number 1 clipper guard, making sure the lever is open and facing away from the tip of the clipper's blade. Again, we're going to open the lever. We're going another inch upwards to create another guideline, just like the previous step, guys, but now we add a 1 guard on your clipper. Notice how I'm flicking upwards, and once I reach the top, I just kind of flick the clipper upwards, and this helps a lot in terms of not going too high with your guidelines. Next up, we're going to follow the previous step, but now with a number 2 clipper. So we're actually going to create another guideline on top of a guideline. We're not going to blend out the number 1 guideline just yet. Same idea, we're going to be flicking upwards. And this just really helps to create a square look, kind of just squares off your face. Usually the top portion of a fade ends with a number 2, especially a skin fade, unless you're going for a lower type of fade. So here it's important to flick upwards. Rarely do I ever follow the shape of the head. Reason being, you will end up with a round shape that is created, almost like an undercut. So I usually like to square off the top there. And here we can kind of see the fade coming along. We do have to blend this line after by closing the clipper guard. Alright, so this should be the line at the bottom created by the number 1 guideline. And the one on top would be the number 2 guideline. We're going to blend these two out now. So with my number 1, I just closed the clipper, and we're going to blend that line. So here, as you can see, the lever is facing the tip of the blade, and it is closed. I'm going to try my best to erase the bottom line. So we did the same step when we didn't have a guard on. That is already blended. What we're doing is blending the guideline that's created by the number 1. Same thing, take your time. You know, in the beginning there's definitely a lot of room for error. Full disclaimer, guys, you know, cutting your own hair is definitely a fun process, but it takes a lot of time to get used to, especially the back of your head. Purpose of this video, you know, I've just had so many people ask me, what tools do I buy? How do I go about cutting my own hair? Especially when we don't have access to a barber, or, you know, you're just on a budget, you don't really want to spend that money to go get a fresh fade. Alright, we're now going to proceed with our number 2 guard. Make sure you close that clipper so that we can blend the final line. Try your best to hold the clipper comfortably. I know it's a little bit awkward holding it, especially if you're cutting your own hair, but we're going to flick upwards. The moment the clipper's blades make contact with the hair, you will hear a sound, and that is when we're going to flick upwards. Very important, guys. Should you make a mistake, do not get discouraged. You know, it's definitely better than having long hair. And just think about the benefits. You will basically be, one of the few people to actually have a haircut, especially in this time where everyone is stuck inside. Non-essential services are shut down, and no one has access to a barber. Alright, so that does it with the fade. We're going to continue on. The last two parts are a bit optional. I would only recommend this, guys, if you are daring and up for a challenge. This next part is called clipper over comb and is usually done best by someone other than yourself. However, we shall give it a go, as it does give you a square look on your face, which really complements the facial shape of most people. First up, we align the comb facing upwards at a straight position. Try not to angle it too much, as it will result in too much hair being cut off. And as always, that back part is bit difficult to do, but practice does make perfect. Your final optional step would be the lineup. This final touch holds very high risk and also high reward, as it gives you that sharp and clean look. You would start by combing the sides and try to look very closely at your mirror. Accuracy is key. It is very important to try to not push your hairline back. I usually finish it up with a straight razor, but I would not suggest you guys try that at home unless you are confident in your skill, or you will end up cutting yourself. Alright guys, here I just noticed a bit of hair left at the bottom, so I'm just going to clean it up with my trimmer. Just make sure it's extra clean. Alright guys, so that concludes the self-cut quarantine fade. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, stay safe.